Thinking a lot about the Seattle Seahawks future here after the Super Bowl, and specifically Geno Smith and the quarterback position. Now, last few weeks have been an absolute whirlwind. The Seahawks hired a head coach, the Seahawks hired a defensive coordinator, an offensive coordinator, and now the future of the Seattle Seahawks begin. But sometimes in the future, you need a bridge gap between the future and the past. And I think Geno Smith is that gap. He's a guy bridging it all together while we rebuild, I don't think it's going to be a painful rebuild. I think we have all the pieces actually in place. But we all know the most important position in the NFL, and not just NFL, all pro sports, is the quarterback position. Now, I think we learned a couple things from the Super Bowl. You can go really, really far, like the San Francisco 49ers have, with a quarterback like Brock Purdy, who's a pretty good quarterback. I don't want to say Geno Smith's better than him, but he's no worse than him. Plain and simple. Geno Smith can enter the division next year as... Look, if we're going to talk about talent, it's either Kyler Murray or Matthew Stafford more talented, but two guys who've had injury problems. Geno Smith, if healthy, could easily become a Brock Purdy type of quarterback where it's good enough to lead a team to a really good record. But I don't think good enough to beat someone like Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl if you're going to be dueling back and forth. So what should the Seahawks do about the future of a quarterback position? What should they do about the future of a franchise? Should they be starting Geno Smith next year? Should there be a complete overhaul now? Here are my thoughts. One, I personally think we need to go draft a quarterback, and preferably in the first round. I know we all are looking at Michael Penix Jr. as an option, with Ryan Grubb being the offensive coordinator. I have no issue with it whatsoever. I'm a Husky alum. Love Michael Penix. Don't know. I am no scout. I have no idea how good of a pro he'd be. Be a good pro, great pro, average pro, not a good pro. We know he's had injury problems in the past while he was in Indiana. Don't know if that would resurface later on in his career. No idea. But do I like him? Absolutely. But if we go take a guy like Michael Penix Jr., I beg and plead and hope and pray and just like have my fingers crossed the Seahawks can take a play out of another NFC team's book, and that is the Green Bay Packers, and let him sit for a year. Whoever the quarterback is, we're not going to be picking one or two. We're not getting Drake May. We're not getting Caleb Williams, which, by the way, I don't even want Caleb Williams. I don't necessarily think he's as good as people think. Once again, I said I'm not a scout. Anyway, the point here is if we bring a quarterback in, have him sit behind Geno Smith for a year, let him learn Ryan Grubb's offense for a year. And yes, I know Michael Penix Jr. knows Ryan Grubb's offense, but still, let him learn how to become a professional for one season. And if 8 games into the season you feel like, hey, we're 2-6, 3-5, and there's no way that we're going to make the playoffs or anything, and you want to throw him in there at the end of the season, that's fine too. But I think the last thing we should do is think that we're always going to find lightning in a bottle like Russell Wilson, who, by the way, I don't think would have been as successful if he didn't have the greatest defense of our generation to help him win games. He wasn't asked to do much, and the quarterback that comes in is going to be asked to do probably a lot more than Russell Wilson was asked to do as a rookie, so that you need to keep in hindsight. So I think the Seahawks should bring a quarterback. Let him sit behind Geno, learn a bit, find out if he is good at practice. Let him learn the practice skills, what it takes to be a pro. Geno's been at it for a long time. He can teach him how to prepare for game day. Sundays are a lot different than Saturdays. And if that's Penix, that's Penix. One guy I don't want is J.J. McCarthy. Just don't see it. But if I would take Penix, I'd be really, really happy. I don't think someone like Jaden Daniels is going to fall all the way down to us. And I'd be pretty surprised if the Seahawks make a bold move by like trading up to the 1 or 2 or 3 spot of the NFL draft and going and get a guy really, really high up. I would be really shocked. I think we're going to get a quarterback in the first round, and if we don't love a quarterback in the first round, we'll take a flyer in the second or third round. But either way, Geno Smith for one more year, who's been really serviceable and more than serviceable. I think Geno Smith's been a good quarterback overall in his time here at Seattle. I think he got to sit behind Russell Wilson for a while, learned to be a professional, came in and has been a pretty good quarterback. I'd say a top 15 to 10 to 15 in his first year as a starter, and last year more around the 13 to 17 range, which is a serviceable quarterback, but you're not going to win a Super Bowl with that, which is fine. Of course, as a Seahawks fan, I think the goal should always be win a Super Bowl. But right now, let's talk realistically. Our goal should be to get better, build for the future, and then go compete for a Super Bowl, within the next 2 to 3 seasons, maybe 4 seasons. And, we see what the 49ers are, right? They've been in the NFC Championship 4 straight years. They have no Super Bowl to look at and say, hey, we made it. So we don't want to be that either. We want to get good enough to make a Super Bowl, win a Super Bowl. It's going to be a long grind. It's not going to happen in a year or two. But until it happens, let's find the quarterback of the future. Let him groom behind Geno Smith. Let him learn from Grubb and McDonald. McDonald, I know, is a defensive coach, but learn the system, learn the culture, and then from there we'll find out who the quarterback of the future is. But that's what I think the Seattle Seahawks should do at the quarterback position here. And now that the NFL season's over, we can start looking ahead and finding out what we're gonna do at the future for the Seahawks. All right, well, thank you for watching to the end. This is Seattle on Tap. I'm George on Tap. You can follow me everywhere on social media at George on Tap. And make sure to follow Seattle on Tap everywhere on social media. If you're looking for Mariners content or Huskies content, follow our YouTube pages, Mariners on Tap, and for Huskies, Huskies on Tap. This is Seattle on Tap will be Seahawks only going forward, and the other pages will be more specified for the team. So thank you for watching. My name is George Arjour, and we'll see you guys next time.